Hello, welcome back to A Hopeful Holler Makes. I am coming to you from Fort Worth, Texas, out at Camp Walker, hence the cute little barn over there, and sheep that are sometimes over here. When it's this hot, they're hanging out back over there. My name is Michelle Holler. I am A Hopeful Holler Makes. I am on Instagram also as A Hopeful Holler Makes podcast. You'll find me there. And I certainly welcome back any subscribers and sweet people who have left comments. I really do appreciate that. And I say it over and over, I'm really working on getting to comments on YouTube as well as Instagram. I want to be able to connect, be able to speak to the people who have taken the time to watch this podcast. So that's something I appreciate, and I want you to know that. So thank you. On my podcast, you will find Fiber Arts, Deep Thoughts, and Blue October. If that's your bag, welcome. And a lot of green this time of year, apparently. I feel like I'm blending in. So let's begin with projects. So what I have in the way of projects today are some socks on my, ooh, look at this. Isn't that fun? You can see the teapot really cool there. Little teapot. Socks from a sock blank that the Brazen Stitcher did. And I showed the sock blank and the works in progress a few weeks ago, I believe, and it's still a work in progress. You can see I've just knit a long tube. I've not done anything with the sock, with the heel yet, or the toe. I still have them on my 9-inch circular knitting needles. That's the way I most prefer to make my socks. But this was a double-stranded sock blank, and oops, sorry about that. I've come to realize I have to be very patient with myself when I use them because I can get all tangled up and then I don't want to finish, and I've actually thrown away a sock blank before because of that. So I'm just patient with myself, and I really like the way they look. So this week, I leave on Monday, I'm going to Iowa for a girls' camp, and my plan is to add the toes and add the heel, and it'll be afterthought heels. That's what I like to do. So I'll just cut right there and I'll add my heel. So next podcast I'll show the heels and toes, and they will be made with this. So that's that. And what I have, oh yes, the big finish. So the Jody shawl. The Jody shawl, Joji Locatelli, and my friend Christina. You've heard me mention it several times. I believe that they look so much alike, and they both have such kindred, sweet, gentle spirits. I just had to pair the two, like a fine wine and cheese. So I have been wanting, once I saw this on Grocery Girls, to make myself a Jody shawl. And here it is, all in all its gloriousness. I'm gonna stand up. Woo! It's windy, y'all. Here is the Jody shawl. So this is in a chocolate and cherries colorway. Because of the lighting, it's a little bit different. It might be better actually if I stand in the sun. You can see it's kind of a pink mauve color, and then a red, and then kind of a brown maroon down at the bottom. But I highly, highly recommend this project, especially if you're a new knitter and you're just looking to up your game a little bit, learn a few new skills. I know that when I was, this is why I wear my hair up a lot. When I was a new knitter, I was always looking, and I still am to some degree, looking for different projects where I'm going to learn something new that's going to take a little bit more attention, and so that I can feel that achievement. Sometimes it's in just making another project, and Sorry. And that's okay too. But this particular pattern I just think is worth your effort. So it's called the Jody Shawl by Joji Locatelli, and I used Serenity yarns. And I may have failed to mention I am a teacher here in Fort Worth, a knitting excuse me, fiber arts teacher, and I will be teaching an upcoming class in August on the Jody Shawl. So I look forward to being able to share that with many people who will get the satisfaction of making themselves a shawl. And at Knitting Group this last week, someone who has had cancer and is such a beautiful, glorious survivor said, that looks like a prayer shawl. And I thought, that might be a good backup for me to use for my prayer shawls, because I certainly do enjoy making those for folks. Did I mention it's windy? I almost didn't podcast because down by the tree where I like to film, it's super windy. You can see the leaves moving. But I thought, better imperfect than not at all. So I showed you these last time. Look how fun. Look at all the colors. And again, 9-inch circs. I'll add the toe and the heel at camp this next week. And sister is over here, not progressing a whole lot. So again, this is Mustache Yarns, and this is Rainbow Explosion. I talked about these a little bit last week, so I won't spend too much time doing that. Love it, love it. They make me so happy. And now they have a recipient. I thought they were gonna be for me, but there is a very special young lady that I am praying for, and she has some things coming up in her life that I just want to be super intentional while I'm praying and knitting for her, and I think that that might be a special gift. So those will be for her. I know my hair blowing is more frustrating than it is for y'all. Hopefully it's just funny for y'all. So I'll take that on for myself. So since this is the time of the Tour de France, it's also the Tour de Fleece. So many of us who spin take this time to just spin as much as we can every single day. So on the limited time that I have for this, I've just chosen to pick up some of my fleece. This is a Shetland fleece. I love the smell. I love the smell. And this is a beautiful drop spindle that I purchased from Butterfly Girl. She is now on Instagram, and I consider her a sweet friend. I don't get to see her as much as I would love to, but she is someone who I have purchased from since I first started knitting and spinning, and I try and see her every time. I don't try. I go by and see her and purchase from her every single time I go to the Fiberfest, DFW Fiberfest, which is my local Fiberfest. So I'm gonna just give a little spin here. How much time do we have? Oh, cool. So this is a long staple. Oh, you can't see. I need to stand up. And by that I mean from where it grows on the sheep to when it is cut. It's a long staple length. I think this is probably over 4 inches. And that's Shetland wool. So Shetland and Rambouillet. I don't know if you can see that or not. Ah, there we go. The clouds helped me. Thank you, clouds. This is Shetland. Oops. And Shetland and Rambouillet are two of my favorite fibers to spin with. Coming in a very close third is Rambouillet and Alpaca blended together. And that's what I have here on my cute little sheep Turkish drop spindle right there. So if you haven't seen one of these, they are delightful. When I first started a drop spindle, this is what I used. Oh no, my battery's going down. Hopefully we'll make it 30 minutes. So the alpaca and the rambouillet make a beautiful, soft, bouncy, luxurious yarn. And it's my third favorite. So I just thought I'd share that. And I've been working on a roving, that's what this is, that I carded on my drum carder. So I came across some alpaca from a dear friend, and of course, you know, there's 19 sheep hanging around here, so I have tons of rambouillet and access to it. I can hook you up if you need a fleece. And so I washed it, and then I put it through my drum carder, and then I just tore it, I think, into 4 pieces and made a roving. And then I just ball it up, and then I have little bumps. If you've been at DFW Fiberfest, you may have received a bump from me like this last year. And oh, look at this little box. I may have already shown the box, but isn't that cute? I love camping. I love Oregon. Oh, makes my heart sing. So I keep it in there. I actually got this idea from the Smushed Squirrel, my friend on Instagram, the Smushed Squirrel. And so the reason I put it in here, I put the lid on it, is it doesn't rub up against the fabric and sort of give it a light felting. So that's why I do that.